So between 10, 12, and 25, you want to give us a short synopsis of how that was?
Sure. So I had a stepmother that my father remarried maybe a month after my mother passed away. And then they got divorced quickly because it was a month after she passed away. And I think he married her to take care of me. And then they separated, and he sent me with her. And she was very abusive physically. And I left there and I went to live with a friend.
At what age?
11 to 12. And the friend's father was abusive. And she had an older sister who actually drank and did drugs and things like that. So we had a wedding to go to, the friend of the family's, I think. And this older sister gave me alcohol. And this is free reign. And I'm drinking everything she gave me because I'm trying to create that 7-year-old buzz. Mm-hmm. And I just drank everything because I didn't know what happened. And I started feeling dizzy and I went to go lay down. And if somebody had not come in when they came into that room, I would have died. I would have choked. I would have choked to death. My first drunk at 12.
Wow.
Yeah, it took me to 42 to admit I was truly an alcoholic. It took me till 42 to conceive to my innermost self that I could not drink alcohol safely.
So between that age and when you got sober at 42, were there times where you tried to get help? Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about what those efforts were.
So at 21, so by the time I barely graduated high school, and I say barely, I drank with my teachers and they let me grade papers, and that's how I got to high school. I have a learning disability that was not diagnosed back then. And I was always told that I was street smart, but just not book smart. And I believed it. I believed the lie. I believed what people told me. And so by the time I was 18, I moved out on my own. I got my own place. And life was really hard. There were times where I didn't have food to eat. There were times where I didn't have gas money. There were times where I didn't have a job. I was evicted from apartments. I've lived in my car. I've lived in motels. At maybe 19, I moved in with, I got involved with drugs and specifically cocaine. And I moved in with my dealer who became my boyfriend. And that led me to rehab. By the time I was 21, I went to my first rehab.
And where is this?
This is in South Jersey, right outside of Philadelphia.
Still, okay.
Yes. So I went to a place called Hampton House.
Okay, inpatient?
Yes, 30 days. And I was introduced to AA there.
Okay.
And I got out and I went to aftercare and I moved back in with my aunt and started to rebuild my life. And I went to AA meetings, and there was I was 21. So there was a big young people's crowd. We did a lot together. We did a lot of events and socialization, and it was great. And I stayed, I'm going to say dry or abstinent for almost 4 years, from when I was about 21 to 25, close to 25.
What did you accomplish during that time period?
Fellowship, really fellowship, but I didn't change anything about myself.
Okay.
So
that's why you described it as
abstinent
and dry.
Well, life got better. Life got better. And and AA was very different then. There weren't a ton of women. There were a lot, and there weren't a lot of people who did drugs too. Like it's hardly, you can't throw a rock and everybody has tried something other than alcohol pretty much. I mean, you have a few diehard alcoholics straight up, but there's usually other people, but you've tried stuff,